right, so hi everybody. Thank you for coming to our housekeeping and getting ready webinar for 2025. Excited to see you, excited to kind of think about the new year. Before anything else, preparation is the key to success. So they say, and we completely agree. And so Patsy and I are grateful that you are willing to take a few minutes to kind of remember how to use your account and do these little bit of housekeeping things. Plus, we're very excited to show you the new features so that you have some exciting new things to try out in the new year. All right, so hello, I am Karen. I will be mostly chattering away today. So you've already seen me. Patsy, say hello and introduce yourself.
Hey, I'm Patsy. I see a lot of names on here that I've come to know over the years, so thank you. And if I don't know you yet, I look forward to helping you out with your Build Track 50.
Very nice. And Steven, sitting in the dark. Say
I
hello.
am. I don't know why it's so dark. The lights just went out. Hi, yeah. So I'm Stephen, and I do a bit of everything really. Like some data support, also some customer support, as well as some demos and the like.
Very good. So Patsy and I will be chatting our way through this, and Steven's going to be attempting to answer questions in chat and also stop us to answer questions when appropriate. And also we'll have a chance for Q&A at the end. So if you have something though that is about the topic we're talking about, absolutely ask, and we will discuss it. That is why you come to this live. All right, so on we go. Here is what we're going to be talking about today. So we have our new features that we want to show you, the things that we've kind of added, and a few resources. We've got the how you get your account ready. So how you tidy everything up, and a couple of favors we ask you for, along with just some good advice and best practices that we've seen over the year. And then finally, how to get your bill sheets all rolled over and your reg sheets rolled over and ready for the new year. And so the actual mechanics of that, and we will step through each step and explain why we do it that way. And then a couple little things, teasers for things we're going to be working on next year. And of course, soliciting your suggestions for things you'd like to see us work on. Because most of the things that are in here are ideas from somebody. So always happy to get more. Roger. All right, here we go. So first, new features. Of course, a lot of what we've been doing has been AI related, but the biggest new thing that we did was launch our regulation tracking. So we've always had regulation tracking, and it was something, but it wasn't great. And now we think we have created something that's pretty good, and we're proud to show it off. So let's take a quick peek. So I've got my little bill drive over here. So regulation sheets are now much, much more like bill sheets, which was kind of the goal we were going for. So now I have this sheet full of regs. Each row is an individual reg, because that just seems like the way it should have been all along. You can search by a lot more things now. So you have the types you can filter on and the statuses. You can go by what agency it was in and the same date range we always had. And then the search is just the same as setting up a bill sheet. And if you find a regulation you're interested in, then you can click on it just like you would expect. We'll give you an AI summary, and this is of all of the documents we've seen for this, plus a couple, basic pieces of information you might want to know. And then we have all of the documents we've seen for this reg so far. And of course, you can click on any individual one, and we will give you the summary of just this one single document, along with, where we got it and the basic information about it, and then the document itself for you to go through. We will highlight your search terms in here. So somewhere your search term is in here, although the search terms now can be in any one of your documents. So if you've got a document that's just like a hearing notice, it might not actually have your search term, but it's attached to the entire reg. And so the reg comes up if any of the documents have your search term in it. And then down here, we've got the actual document. So you can grab this if you want it for some reason, or you can search within it. So there's this little guide to let you find stuff within the document. All right, so that is, I mean, that seems pretty straightforward, but we're pretty proud of it, to be honest. It was a bit. And then we've got track, of course, and then similar, which we'll talk about here in a minute about our new features. Yeah, so that's it. So that's the regs. You set up alerts because we have the additional types now. There's different, like a good suite of different sorts of alerts you can set up. So just like for reg or just like for bills, you have various different choices. So you can say, just let me know if a new thing gets proposed, or let me know if one of the ones I'm following has a new document that comes out for it, or a hearing date is attached to it, or it gets an effective date. And we are doing our best to get hearing dates, effective dates, all that sort of information out of the regs. Right now, none of it is AI. It is just what we could see in the text itself. So it's not 100% complete. So be a little bit cautious about that, but the dates that are there should be correct. And we've been experimenting with getting AI to help us extract some of these dates. It's not good enough yet, but we're hoping that that will be an improvement we can make soon. But we don't want to give them to you if we don't think they're right. So I think that
So
probably
just
makes sense
before
to you.
we move on from regs, we do have a question.
Please.
So Pam asks, if you choose to put limiter terms in your query for regs, will it search for those words just within the regulation language or pick up everything in the reg, posing such as possible headers from the state?
It will do all of the text from any of the documents. So it's going to be in the title of the document. If the state has given us an official summary of it, and then each of the documents themselves with their own text. So if you say not, it will not give it to you if those words are in any one of your documents or are the title of the document. So it's quite inclusive. So those limiting words are, but if you say it's this or this, then it can be in any of the documents. If you say it's this and this, one of your terms might be in one document, one of your terms might be in the other document. I mean, that's unlikely, but conceivable. So just remember, you're pretty much searching like everything that's been said about this reg. Did that kind of get at your question, Ham? It's a bit of a nuanced thing, but I know that you know what you're doing with regs. Okay. So let us move on from regs. That was it. That was your little, that's our new reg system. We are having a webinar next week entirely devoted to like all the ins and outs of the regulation tracking. So if you have an interest, you can come and see that. But that's enough for now. We have added an executive order tool. So along with the regs, we also have executive orders, and that lives over here. And what this is for is we've got all the executive orders and the summaries, the AI summaries and stuff, and that's just fine. But we also have, we'll go look for one of these, pharmaceutical supply chain, fine. So then we have this, a link to the executive document itself, but the similar bills. So this is going to, we got requested to build this out. So this was somebody's idea. I love it. I'm happy with it. So if I say similar bills, it's going to look for bills from the states on this same topic. And so you can see places where states were working on the same idea. You can see places where states are reacting to the executive order and either trying to do what the executive order is asking to be done or trying to push back and keep that from happening in that state. And so that could actually be pretty interesting. So it's, I mean, it's just there. Maybe that's helpful to you. We think it's a little bit interesting. Okay, so that tool is there. As far as governors, executive orders, we have been adding those state by state. So we've got a bunch of them in there now. They're not there for all states. So we do have all the presidential executive orders. But at the state level, we don't have them all yet, but we hope to finish that out sometime during next year. But there'll be more and more executive orders coming available. to search for in the regs. Okay, we also have our new little help bot. So we had built out last year, we announced a big help system that we had developed, and that's just in the menu under help. But now above the whole help system is this cute little guy here who's perfectly happy to help you. So you still have non-AI Patsy and non-AI Karen, so we're always happy to answer your questions. But this can be a quick way to get an answer. For example, how do I create a bill sheet? And then it'll actually do a pretty good job explaining it, and importantly, give you these links to read more. So yeah, that's there for you if you ever have a quick question and you think maybe you can get it figured out without reaching out to us. But, you know, we don't want you to leave us completely lonely, right, Patsy?
We are still here and happy to help.
A quick question about the executive orders tool. So will we be adding the state level executive orders to the executive order tool, or will it just live in the regs product?
I don't know. I hadn't thought about adding the state executive orders in there. We might. Email me and pitch me why that would be useful. And yeah, I mean, we could.
do that.
Then thank you. It's a good suggestion. Okay. All right, so I showed you the help bot. We also have brand new, couple weeks old, so be gentle with him, our new little bill bot. So when you're looking at any bill, you'll notice at the top there's a new Ask AI button, and that lets you chat with the bill. And we are adding that also to regs. It's not there yet, but it should be there anytime now. Okay, so let's look at a bill. Here we go. The Pharmaceutical Ingredient Regulatory Commission. Great. So now I can go in here and say, gosh, actually it's not that big a bill, but let's pretend it is, and say, hey, and this is only going to know what's in the bill. So you can't ask it now for recipes or anything, but you can say, what kind of pharma is being regulated in this bill? And it'll go read it, and it'll come back and try to answer your question. So maybe this is useful to you. It is AI. It does know all about the bill and whatever else AIs know, but do be careful. Obviously, don't make business decisions or bet anyone's life on it. But you can say, you can ask it for what section is this in, or can you give me the exact language so that you can go double check it. But it's a nice kind of way to get started. And so it's kind of explaining, and then you can follow up with more questions. But so the manufacturing and quality standard. So, you know, you can then ask a follow-up question. Now, for right now, we have this limited to you can ask 10 things. But you are welcome to, you know, use it every day. That limit for you is just you. So there's a bunch of different people in your company. They all can ask it 10 things in a day, and then it resets. We're probably going to lift that limit, but we were just trying to make sure that we understood what it cost and how much people were going to use it before we open it up wide open, which hopefully you can understand. So like I said, it's just a couple weeks old, but please do get in there, play with it, ask it some questions, see if it can be at all helpful to you. But it'll have the whole bill available to it, and it can, you know, read that sucker and help you kind of decide if this bill is relevant or figure out what it even says. So that is the new bill bot. Very good. And we have a merch store. Hooray! So if you come to BuildDrive 50, just in time for Christmas, at the top is store, and you can get all kinds of fun things. And we're adding more things all the time. So, hey, I don't know. We love BuildDrive 50, and we all wear merch all the time. Stephen, are you in a BuildDrive 50 hoodie? Yes, he is. Very good. So anyway, have fun with that. Plus, plus, various other things. So when we changed our pricing last year, we rolled all of the different paid things together into one single subscription price. And so that means you now have access to everything that used to be paid. So that is scorecards, that is afternoon alerts, that is the mobile stakeholder pages, that is lots of things. So a little description of those will be in the email we send you, or in the document attached to the email we send you. Also, importantly, is the user management tools. So you can create a group of users and give them a group of bill sheets and reg sheets and scorecards and whatever, and group that all together so that anytime you add a new person, they get all of those bill sheets, or anytime you add a new bill sheet, everybody in the group can see it. So if you've got different silos and groups of people, so state chapters or what have you, then that can be really helpful. Or if you've got a project and you want everybody to weigh into a bill sheet. Are there other ways that you've seen people use the management features, Patsy?
Let's see. Usually, yeah, it's like if you're national and you have affiliates, sometimes even affiliates have precincts. Also, sometimes within a state group, like you'll have people covering, like you'll have two people to an issue or something, and that makes it easy. But yeah, I mean, there are different ways to cut it. On the more like corporate side, people will do it by department.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, if you got a lot of bill sheets or a lot of people or both, then this hopefully can help save you some time. I've also have one person I've seen who like set up a bunch of bill sheets, feeding in their queries, and then like they just look at the roll-up sheets normally. So they put all of the feeder sheets into one group so they can just turn them all on when they want to kind of get in there and look at the query words, and then turn them all off when they want to get rid of them out of their account. And that's pretty clever. But anyway, so if that sounds interesting, Patsy and I will be happy to brainstorm with you and kind of show you how it works and see if that would be useful to you. We have added HTML reports. So underneath the bill sheet, when you click to make a report, which was our big thing last year, the report builder, you now can export it not just as a PDF, but as HTML. So if you're wanting to like stick it somewhere where HTML is appropriate, you can now export it as HTML. We have added legislator exports, which we have gotten a good reaction to. So maybe you noticed this. There's this new tools thing here. It has just one tool in it, but we're hoping to be adding more. So legislator export. So this will let you export contact info, like a mail list spreadsheet, for a whole state's worth of legislators, for any state you're subscribed to. So you can just come in here and say, I want whatever. And then we'll give you, their email addresses, their mailing addresses, their phone numbers into a big spreadsheet. So hopefully that is useful to you. It's refreshed every day. So as people come and go, it should keep up, or as their contact info changes, it should keep up. And then you may not have noticed, but we didn't have AI summaries on resolutions before, but we have gone ahead and added those all in. So that's all there for you too. And of course, all of the AI summaries on the regs as well. Okay, so that's some of the more new stuff. More new all the time. Okay, so hopefully you enjoyed that quick tour. Let's get into the actual housekeeping. Any questions about any of the new stuff before we move into the actual getting your account all clean and ready?
Two quick tips on the legislator export. I want to talk about what isn't there, which is it is not going to be like you still have to click the person's profile to find staff. Like the staff is not in the export. Please don't email me later about that. I told you on this webinar the staff is not in the export. It's not there. Don't do it. And then the other thing is, I would say there's something that most of you are going to want to have be there or want to find. And so I would say export it, add a column, call it like committee assignment. And you're going to know, depending on what issues you care most about, what committees you care about, click on the committee tab and just fill in like have them both up and fill in who's on what. And that way you can easily sort for the people that you really, really have to get to quickly. Anyways, two things. Staff is not there, and pro tip, add the committee assignments in a column for yourself.
Yeah, good. So yeah, or whatever other information, if you're trying to do a whip count or whatever, it's a good way to just get a list of everybody and their basic info, and then you can fill in what else you need to do. Okay, so here we go. Here is how you do your spring clean now that it is Christmas. First, users. As you know, we let you have unlimited users with your subscription. Hopefully that is a convenience for you. In return, once a year, we ask you, please remove any users that are no longer appropriate. So if someone has left or for whatever reason should no longer have access to your account, please go ahead and remove them. It's just good to do that. And I mean, if you have a lot of people, like we could work with you on a way to make that easier. But generally, you just under the account menu, you say manage users. It lists everybody, and you can edit anybody and remove them. Now, that doesn't delete what they made, because what they made is in the company account and belongs to the company. It doesn't even delete their account. They can still come in and use BillTrack 50 at the citizen level. What it does do is remove their access to the company stuff. So please do remove anybody who should not be in this list. Thank you. Everybody wins when you keep that all up to date. You can also, as you go through, look at everybody's access and just kind of double check if anybody has too much or too little access. So do you want this person to be able to add new users or delete bill sheets or not? That kind of thing. And then there is a new user management tool that we introduced late last year. Up here, this is the groups that I was talking about. And right under that, we've got this user permission summary. So if you have permission to add and remove users, you get to see this sort of stuff, which lets you see what each person has permission to see. Or by the, you could also swap it around and say, give me the sheets. So this is just like a bill sheet. So you can say, in my stakeholder pages, I've got this barbecue bills. Who's allowed to see that? So that just lets you just real quick see what everybody has access to and see if anybody's missing access, that kind of thing. So just a little bit of that will save confusion when the bills start coming fast. So if you have a second now to make sure that's all like it should be, great. Do that. Take a minute to get prepared ahead of time. Other comments, Patsy?
No.
Yeah, just see if you have any users that shouldn't be there.
Yeah, that one's
Okay.
pretty.
Then we need to clean up all of our bill sheets, which means delete ones that you're never going to use again. Archive ones that you don't necessarily want to delete but don't need to be active. Or hide ones that you want to still be active but are not necessarily needing to stay. Or you can hide things that are archived too. So let's just take a second to talk about the differences. So if I have a bill sheet here, I've got this one called Dawn. That was just a special project. I don't need it anymore. So I can just come in here and say delete. And then that's just out of my account, and my account is that much tidier and it's easier for me to find things. But I might have one that this facial recognition, I got started on it, but I didn't finish it, but it might come back this year. I don't really want to delete it. So I can just kind of put it away. So if I come to the Manage tab, instead of saying delete, I'm going to say archive and then save that. And what that will do is just stop running it every night, and it'll also move it out of your way. So right away, it's got this archive flag to remind you that it is. The X's are gone, so you can't accidentally remove stuff, because by archiving it, we've sort of locked it in place. The query tab turns gray because, again, we're trying to keep you from accidentally changing it because you locked it in place. And if a bill changes, like if it moves and the progress changes, like that will keep updated, but we're not going to be running the query every night and adding new bills to this. So it helps us, right? It speeds the system up for everybody. So what I did then was move it. It's no longer in my list up here. Instead, it's gotten moved down into the list of things I've archived. So it also pushes it down out of the way, so it's out of your way. We'll talk more about that when we do our rollovers. But that is a way that you can also tidy up. And then finally, if you wanted to keep running, but you don't want to see it, for example, you've got 3 bill sheets going into a roll up, you really only need the roll up, then that is under user management, manage users. So you can hide things from other people or from yourself. So I'm going to edit myself and see what bill sheets I have permission to. And now I can see all these things which I have archived and that I can't see, some old stuff. But maybe these alcohol laws. Oh, I've already hidden that from myself. Surprising because I have 75 things, but yeah, boy, I've made a lot of stuff over the years. Holy moly. All right. So maybe this civil asset forfeiture I don't want anymore. So I just come in here and say none. It will keep running. Anyone else who has access to it will still see it. If I have it on my website, if I have it in a blog post, it will keep running. No problem. It just isn't in my list anymore, so that my list is as short and tidy as possible, just to help, everybody knows why you clean up, right? Why you tidy up. So that is 3 different ways that you can kind of get everything cleaned up, so only the most important stuff is here at the top for you. So we highly recommend you do that exact same stuff for regs. All right. Next, as long as you're kind of going through and deciding what you're going to keep and delete and archive and whatever, it's a good idea to kind of double check your alerts. And I know that Patsy will also back me up on this. So when you first create a bill sheet, by default, we do not have any of the alerts coming to you. If you made your bill sheet over the summer, you may not remember that you didn't turn on the alerts yet. So if you've got some bill sheets that you would like to get alerts when the bills start getting introduced, take a second and just kind of double check your alerts and make sure that these are set like you want. Unless you absolutely know that they are, like, just don't assume that they are, especially if it's something that you made more recently. Just double check those alerts are there. That way you will get an alert as soon as the new bills start coming in. So we encourage you on your most important sheets to just double check that the alerts are how you think they are. Also, as long as you're here, you could just kind of take a quick peek at the query, give it half a thought. Are there any new words? Are any of these absolutely obsolete? Like, did some of these words not actually work that well for you last year? And if you have a bill sheet that wasn't actually doing quite what you wanted last year, 100% set up some time with me or Patsy or Steven, and we will help you get that kind of locked down again before the bills start flooding in with the new year. Actually, Steven, do you happen to know what states have already started putting bills out?
I haven't checked for a while, but it was Alabama, Florida, Oklahoma, Arizona, New Hampshire, and Virginia.
Did I see? No, Utah had a special session. Did you already say Nevada? I think that one came in. Yeah. So we're already getting, some of the pre-files in, and obviously more and more will come in as we get further into December. Right. So that is kind of just review your bill sheets and your reg sheets to make sure you're getting the bills and the reg alerts that you're expecting, and that your query terms are sort of what you thought that they should be. Okay, so now you've reviewed everything. You've reviewed your users, made sure that they're all set up properly. You've reviewed your bill sheets and reg sheets, made sure they're all good. Removed anything you're not going to use or any people that you don't want to see anymore. Great. All neat. Wonderful. So let's talk about how you now actually get your bill sheet set to show you the new year. So here we go. First, we highly recommend you take a snapshot. So if you have done any work on your bill sheet, so if you have removed bills that aren't relevant, if you have added a column and put some notes in it, if you have whatever, like done some work on this guy, then we just recommend that you save it That's all. Just take a snapshot. So that is very easy to do. You go to the Manage tab and you say copy. And you give it a name and it'll come up with a default name. I like to name it with the year. So I'm going to say that this was the 2025 version of this. You decide if you want the user data. That's any data that you've added in, positions or other comments. You might as well save that. And then alert settings, if you want this sheet to have the same alert settings, then you check that box. Usually you don't, like you don't want this to keep sending alerts. This is just a copy. But if you are just trying to start up a new bill sheet, that's fine. This copy is useful for a number of things. So these are my settings that I want for my snapshot. So I'm going to go ahead and say copy, and it'll make the new sheet. And I know I'm on my new sheet because it has that new name. And now I can go ahead and go to the Manage tab and archive this. And if I really don't want to bother seeing it at all, then I can also hide it. But for now, we find it's kind of useful to do this, archive them, kind of get through all of your important sheets where you've got work that you would like to save. Because then the next step is all stress-free because you've got a backup saved. And you might want to leave these in your account like for several weeks and then go ahead and hide them after you're certain everything is cool. So, just kind of leave them sitting there at the bottom in the little archive section until you're happy. But this gives you a safety net. Plus, as years go by, you can kind of see what you are following. You build up kind of some trends, you build up some history, you build up some intelligence. You can go back and see what query terms you were using before. So this starts to build up a nice library for yourself as well, some institutional knowledge, if you will. So we definitely encourage you to go ahead and take these copies and then archive them. And as I pointed out before, that freezes them in place so that you don't accidentally screw it up. And it's just there for you as a resource for all time. Comments about the snapshot, Patsy, before I move on to rolling over?
Two quick things. If you're a commitment phobe, you can unarchive something. It's okay. Okay. That is totally doable. Second thing, some of you have some beautiful maps and other website-based sharing tools. Why I would specifically encourage those of you who fit in that category to do this is Karen's methodology keeps your bill sheet connection in place and you're not having to, bother somebody in IT and point them to a new bill sheet that you made because you didn't follow Karen's instructions. So save yourself, save your coworker, follow Karen's steps. They exist for a reason, and one of them is to help those of you who have some really awesome sharing tools keep those going as smoothly as possible.
Yes, exactly. I should have mentioned that. But first, I don't know why my lights went dim. I do know it's because the sun went down. But anyway, so yes, exactly, Patsy. Thank you for pointing that out. We do it this way. We take the copy and then archive the copy because we want your main bill sheet to be the one that you move into the new year so that whatever you set up on your website continues to work, as Patsy mentioned. But also, if you share the bill sheet with other people, they'll continue to get their alerts. Like just everything will roll into the new year and continue to working just like you expected it to. So if you are starting up a new year, it is far better to keep your main bill sheet that you're working with and let it turn into the new year and take a copy and save a copy to be your version for this year. So that is one main thing to take away from this. It's best practice to not just create a brand new bill sheet to start in the new year, unless it's like all new search terms or whatever. But if you've got the same topic flowing into next year, we just recommend it's easier to take a copy, save that, and then let your main bill sheet flow forward, which I'll show you how to do right now. So that is taking a snapshot. If you do this wrong, then it is possible that your maps won't update with new info or your stakeholder page gets disconnected or whatever. That's okay. As soon as you notice, and we're going to point out that like the last thing you should do after you do all this is go look at your website and make sure it looks like you expect. But as soon as you notice, just reach out. We will help you sort that out. We will get it fixed. The world is not over. But it's just quicker and easier if you do it this way. Take a snapshot and then roll your main sheet into the new year. Okay, so that is taking a snapshot. Same thing for regs. Go in there, take a copy, archive it. Okay, so then bill sheets. Here is for bills, and regs, of course, are going to be slightly different. This is how you get your bill sheet to become a 2026 bill sheet. Here we go. I am going to look at my main one now. Okay, so I've got a query set up. And this query is looking at the current session. So what that means is it's getting any bill from any session that included the year 2025. So when the year changes to 2026, then any bills that are in a state that doesn't have a doesn't have a biennial that has 1 year sessions, then all those old 2025 bills will fall out. And that will happen January 1st, January 2nd, whenever I get a chance to like flip it all over. Then it'll start being just the 2026 bills. But if you have a state that is a biennial that has a 2025-2026 session, then the 2025 bills are still alive, and so they will stay on your bill sheet, except for New Jersey, which has a biennial that ends this year. And so your New Jersey bills will fall out, but not on the 1st because I think they finished like the 10th or something. But anyway, they will fall out pretty soon. So that is what current session does. However, because we want you to see the new bills coming in as they get pre-filed, we will also add your 2026 bills in here. So as new bills get brought up, we will drop them into your bill sheet if you have it marked as current session. Maybe that's exactly what you want. We hope it is because that's what we're giving you. But if it's not, you can change that. So you can switch this from current session to session years. This gives you control of what is in your bill sheet. So if you only want the 2025 bills and you don't want the pre-files, then change it to session years, make it 2025, and you won't get any of that 2026 stuff until you are ready. However, it will still give you biennials. Like that doesn't change. If the session has 2025 in it, you're going to get those bills. So if you want to make it just the pre-files, because you're done with 2025, your session ended in March or whatever, and you're like, those are old news, then you can change it to just 2026 and you'll just see the pre-files. So for example, in Virginia, you can like swap it over and just start looking at new bills right now and forget what happened this year. Now you might not notice, but the top dot is actually only a backwards dot, which is why I pulled this backwards before I moved the dots around. I don't know why, but that's just how this works. So you've got to go backwards first. So if I want to go to 2026, I've got to move that top dot out of the way. We call that the dot dance. But anyway, so you are in control. Do you only want the 2025 bills? Do you only want the 2026 bills? Or are you happy to get the pre-files and the current stuff mixed up for a little bit? So current session, it will roll itself over. All of that will happen automatically. If that's not what you want, you are in control of exactly what happens, and then you can come and change it again when you're ready for that to be different. And if you change it back to current session, then you don't have to remember next year. So that is one thing you need to do is make sure that you're happy with what the session activity is. Like, is that acting like you want? All right, then you also would like to look at your hidden bills. So this is the bills that I have decided aren't relevant to this topic. And if I got distracted by the size of that number. Okay, so if you hide a bill, we keep it hidden. And so we keep a record of it for all time. And we learned this the hard way, because if you change your query so that all the bills fall off because you misspell a word or whatever, when you fix your spelling, you would like all those bills to come back. But anything you hid, you would like to stay hidden. So we save what's been hidden for all time. So this list will get longer and longer and longer. It doesn't matter for the first year or two, but if you're coming in here and looking at what you hid and looking at like when it was amended and when you hid it and whatever, and you come in here and use this hidden tab from time to time, of course, you want it tidy and you only want relevant stuff on here. Or if you've changed out the states you're following or whatever. So if you update all, that will change, that will rerun your query by state and by session, and it'll remove anything in here that's not in the state and session you're looking at. So that's just a one button push to kind of clear out hidden bills that aren't relevant anymore because they're in old years you're not following anymore. Yeah, use that carefully. Only use that like when you're ready to move into the new year, but go ahead and do it if you'd like to keep this tidy. Right now I only have 28. I probably wouldn't bother, but for some of them, after some time, you've hidden thousands of bills. Maybe you want to get that tidied up. The other thing, this sheet doesn't have one, but this one does. So for key bills, I have added bills by bill number, right? So because I just plus stuff onto here when I found it and cared about it. So these are bills I added one by one, but what year are they from? So if I want to get rid of all of the old bills all at once, this remove out of session is the tool to do this. So if I hover over the word remove, it highlights in red anything from a previous session. And the stuff that's gray are bills that are still current now. And now if I click on remove, it actually removes all those old bills for me. Now, note, it is currently 2025, so it's perfectly happy with your 2025 bills. So you'll probably want to come in sometime in 2026 to go ahead and remove all these old bills, but it is just one click. So if you have a sheet that's like this, that you've added bills to one by one, this is how you kind of get rid of all those old bills all at once. Now, again, you've already taken a snapshot, so if you mess this up, you can put that old one back and start over. So that is another reason why it's nice to have a snapshot before you start working on your bill sheets, just so that you have that backup for yourself. So that is how you want to get your session set to the right thing, and then also remove the old stuff that's no longer relevant. Hopefully it's pretty quick and easy, and you just kind of go through and do that. If you have a ton of them, you can reach out to me and Patsy, and we can try to help you get through them. But that's how you get your bill sheets ready for the new year. Change your timeline if you need to, remove your out of session bills, and clean out those hidden bills. All right. About the timeline. So we talked about the pre-filing, and I just mentioned briefly biennials. New Jersey, I mentioned, is the only state that's the 2 years is in the other thing. Everybody else is entering their second year now. But 3 states, Hawaii, Oklahoma, and New Hampshire, are a little bit special as far as the biennial go. So you might think of it as single year, or with a lot of carryover, or you could think of it as biennial. We treat it as biennial so that all those carryovers carry over into the new year. We handle on the back, like moving all of that over, moving all of your comments over, all of your hidden over. But you might notice that when you go to an Oklahoma bill that you were following in 2025, it now says it's a 2026 bill, even though it's the same bill. That's the only reason I mention it. Like, that is very subtle. Maybe you would never know, but for those 3 states, we treat them like a biennial. It doesn't matter to you. All of your tracking will act just like you expect it to. All right. Any questions about rolling over or the years or the timeline or anything before we move on to how you roll over regs? So, feeling good? Did I miss anything, Patsy?
Okay. I think you're on track.
Here we
Carry
go.
on.
Onward. A lot of material, so we'll forge ahead. Regulations. So, very similar, but not quite the same, because there's no sessions, right? And regulations can just take as long as you're going to take. So, in regulations, just real quick, you either can have a fixed date range where you actually have a start date and maybe an end date. If the end date's blank, it's going up till today. Or as you saw, you can have a rolling date range. So this can be a nice way to just like say anything in the last 2 years and just kind of let them fall off on their own, if that's appropriate for you. So just kind of make sure this is set how you want, and that will kind of keep up with itself. Same thing on the hidden sheet, stuff like that. There is no concept necessarily of old out of session regs because that's not really a reg thing. But yeah, so you can tidy that up a little bit and just make sure your timeline's like you want. Oh, and don't forget old regs can come back. So if you have hidden a reg and something new happens, it stays hidden. And so if you want to make sure that you notice a new document has been added to a reg that you have hidden, we're real worried about that for you. We really want you to know when that happens. So on the hidden tab, we've got the not there. The date. So you can sort this and see if anything is newer than your, oh, the added works too. So if it's been added since you hid, then you might want to just realize that, okay, I've got a new document here. Same exact thing goes for bills. But also, maybe you don't want to go through all of your reg sheets and look at the hidden tab from time to time. So we also have this alerts situation, which I probably don't have any live right now. I don't, but I can show you the idea. So this is just a quick summary like of what has happened with all of your bill sheets. So I can see right here at a glance, are there any new bills on any of them or any new votes on any of them? This amended one is going to show me any bill sheets that have changed, that have been any bill sheets that have a bill that have been amended since I hid it. So this is us trying to let you know something got amended that you've hidden, just in case you want to double check it. And then reg, same thing. So this updated regulation sheet is going to show you any sheet that has a reg that has gotten new documents since you hid it. So it will list the actual sheet and give you a chance to look at the details and see what reg it is, and then you can decide if you even care. We will keep them here for a week. So if a reg gets a new document, we then will put that into this list and leave it there for a week. So you only need to come in here and check once a week if any bills have been amended, if you care about that, or if any regs have gotten new documents, if you care about that. And they only show up if you had hidden in that bill or that reg. We just are trying to make extra sure you get a chance to know something happened with something you hid. We just don't want you to miss any activity. We don't want we really encourage you to hide things that you don't care about, to keep everything nice, to keep your alerts accurate and usable, and give you these extra tools so that you actually don't miss anything as you hit it. Okay, so that is that. Onward. Coming soon. Let's just take 1 minute to talk about what we've got in the works. And I'm very interested in your ideas too. Although anything about the regs before we kind of dive into this screen full of ideas? No chats, Stephen?
The regs webinar, if you're a regs person, come to the regs webinar. You'll get like deep in the regs. But also Karen sort of passed by like conceptually like the value of the hidden around like your alerts and such. It is also very valuable to like your similar if you're using that on your sheet, right? So just keeping things tidy has many benefits to your experience.
That's a good point.
And a couple of questions actually just coming in. So first one from Nancy. Are all alerts removed after a week or just ones related to hidden sheets?
Just the hidden sheets so that you can just kind of once a week see what's going on. Otherwise, no, they all stick.
And Bethany asks, is regulation tracking fully active now? I think it is,
Yes,
isn't it?
it's all up
And
and running. All 50 states sending out alerts, coming in all the time. Right. So Patsy made a good point, and I failed to make a point I wanted to make, and that just reminded me too, Patsy. All right. So, um,
Sorry, we can ignore it if
no,
you
no,
need to
no,
move
no.
on.
So when I say similar on an individual bill, which was something that we launched last year, I get to see other bills like this across the country, right? Great. So that's pretty useful. So now I can see like who else is trying to do this thing and how it's going. If I use the similar down here, this is showing me bills similar to the ones I have on this bill sheet. The more dialed in these are, the better chance we'll have of showing you the right bills. So hiding bills that aren't relevant to you saves you time, keeps your alerts nice and clean, but also lets you use this similar even more effectively. Now, we showed you the new bill bot where you can ask a question, and you might want to ask a question of, oh, where'd it go? You might want to ask a question and then get that answer for all of your bills. So this is a bunch of AI bills about that passed. And I had written this prompt. I have a company that uses generative AI to create summaries of legislative bills for my customers to see. Would this bill impact my business? Please start your answer with yes, no, or maybe, and then a brief explanation. So I asked that, and I was pretty happy with the answers I was getting, but I'm like, I don't want to go through these 171 bills one by one. I just want to know, do I need to worry about any of these bills? So I submitted it and filled in the answers into a new column called personal notes. You can make a column if you want and send me a prompt, and I will put the answer in your column for you. So this is a new thing that is in beta that we're testing out. So if you work with a BillBot and you get a prompt that you're happy with, we are happy to then apply that to all of the bills in your sheet and see how that goes. And so I can like sort now, and okay, it almost started with yes. Thank you, AI. But then I can see like which ones say yes and which ones say no. And maybe now I can go through. And again, it's AI, so, but it is for me quite a time saver. Plus, the little Y is also very helpful. So, yeah, now I can get my answer in here. So, you can do your own bespoke analysis and stick it right in the sheet. And then, of course, for this sheet, you can, for this column, now you can share it on your map or not. You can put it on your stakeholder page or not. You can, you can keep it just for your own use. You can publish it to the world, whatever. And this is just a normal column, so I can edit this and make it better and make it more correct. So if you're going to share it, maybe you want to do a quick vetting of it, but also like this isn't helpful to me, I'm going to take out that so that it sorts into the right place. So you can just go in there and edit these and make them better. But we will fill that in for you. So that is something that we're working on related to the similar. A little bit of an AI feature. Okay, so that is the AI prompt bill sheet column, which I meant to show you before, and what Patsy said just reminded me. But I guess this slide would have anyway. And then semantic searching. We are working on how you can write a prompt and use that to search for bills. I want bills about gun control. We're not super happy with the results yet, but they're getting better. So that is something that we are working on actively. Happy to hear if you think that would be helpful to you. We are working on extracting data for regs. So as I mentioned, we're like trying to get the dates out of there using AI, but we're only going to publish it once we're happy that the dates are correct. So that is something we are also actively working on. Now, other things that are not so AI, we are working on linking the bills to the underlying statute. So when it says what statute it's amending, then we're hoping we'll be able to let you click through that and read the existing law. I mentioned the state executive orders. We're working on scraping Public Utility Commission documents or dockets and sticking those into the reg system. And we're also trying to figure out a better way to do topic searching for bills, which will be related to the underlying statutes. So that is hopefully coming in the next year. very interested to hear what you might have as suggestions as well. Okay, so as I mentioned, we're going to be sending you an email with this video and some written help and all of that, and also our Calendly, so you can make a meeting. A reminder of where to go to the help center, so you can ask good old chatbot Bill here some questions. Don't forget, we've got release notes. So every month we write out what the new features are we've released recently. So you can always check that out. We have a newsletter where we announce what we're working on, what new features are available, what new data we're getting, and any warnings about things that are coming up, like maintenance. So you can subscribe to the newsletter. That link will be in that email. Plus the blog post describing everything that we did, including screenshots. Plus, boy, we make a lot of content. You'd think we're crazy over here. So we got our Substack, our podcast, our YouTube with tons of videos and stuff, including our TikToks, various social media, and of course our new store. So we'll send you links to all this too. Okay, so I'm Karen, Patsy, Stephen, and we've got Kendra. Is Kendra here? Did Kendra come today? We should have showed her off on the what's new. There's also Kendra now. Okay, any other questions in the last closing minutes? Or comments or thoughts?
We have a question from Kimberly, which says, does Bill Track 50 include a listing of each state's regular session dates, start and end?
Good question. Love that. Lets me highlight another couple new things we did. So on Bill Track 50, down here in our little extra help section down here, we've got the state stats. And so this is, believe it or not, the United States. And so I can pick a state. What's a good state? Virginia. And we'll show you the dates and if they're whatever, and then the breakdown of the chambers and where bills are at right now, and how many bills pass every year and get introduced every year, what percentage of bills pass based on who introduced them, all the different categories of bills, and like based on committee and which committees are pass the highest percentage of bills, and then a bunch of resources over here. So we've got all the different kind of links you'd want, links to the NASBO state budget pages and the actual legislature website, and everything we know about where to get regulation information, the governor's page, and whatnot. So yes, we have a wealth of information for you about each and every state. So that's here in State Stats. Enjoy.
And I've also just pasted the Legiscan schedules for 2026 into the chat as well, which obviously just has a simple list.
Also very helpful. Just a big one quick at a glance look. Thank you for doing that, Stephen. Anything else? All right, we're about at time. Thank you very much for coming.
Oh, Sam McGuire raised her hand.
Oh, goodness. Somebody let Sam talk.
Does Sam have anything to say?
Oh, that was a mistake.
Oh,
okay. Sam's good.
Oh,
okay.
Didn't mean to jump on you.
Right on. Hi.
Luckily you weren't having a private conversation when we turned you on. Okay, so thank you very much for coming, and gonna go ahead and stop the recording. And yeah, have a great year, everybody.